All right, everyone, welcome back to Letters of Intent. My name is Pankaj Raval, and I am joined again today with my co-host, Sahil Chaudry. Today, it's us. We don't have a guest because we're going to talk about something really important to all business owners, and that is talking about trademarks and brand protection specifically. When it comes to brand protection, we do a lot of it here at Carbon Law Group. We've dealt with protecting brands, enforcing the rights of brand owners, and today we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the importance of monitoring your brand. A lot of people kind of talk about, the importance of a trademark, but not enough people talk about monitoring brands. So today, Sahil is going to ask me some questions about the importance of watching your trademarks. After you get a trademark, why is it important to monitor it, and what are some tools out there that can help brand owners successfully monitor and enforce their brand?
That's right, Pankaj. Today, you are in the hot seat. We are delving into a topic that is near and dear to your heart. It's a major practice area of our firm. Intellectual property and trademarks are at the core of your IP if you're a business owner. And today we're going to find out why and how you can ensure you're not sitting on your rights and letting your rights erode, because that trademark is going to be really important when it comes time to sell your brand or license your brand, and it's time to cash in on all that hard work you've been doing. So, Pankaj, I want to kick things off. Most businesses will register their trademark and think the job is done. But what happens if you don't monitor that mark?
Oh, it's a good question. People think that, let's register a trademark and that's it. But what a lot of people don't realize or find out the hard way is that if you don't monitor your mark, if you don't enforce your mark, you very well could lose your rights. Because if someone is out there using a similar name, using a confusingly similar name, and you're allowing that to happen for an extended period of time, it's usually a couple of years, but you could very well lose your rights in that trademark.
So what are the different ways that someone could lose their rights? What's a situation, like a real world situation, that we could look to so one of our clients could understand how they could lose their rights?
So Sahil, that's a great question regarding a real life example of how someone could lose their rights. So for example, if you have a trademark and you've been using it for a while, and now someone is using your ABC for clothing, okay? And now someone else comes out with a brand called ABC or ABCC, something similar, and it could cause confusion. Now the question is, if you don't enforce your rights, what will happen? And what the law says is that you could lose your rights because your brand name will be diluted and consumers will no longer associate your brand with the source of the goods. Now they could think it's associated with a different source, and that would cause you to lose trademark rights, because fundamentally that's what trademarks are about. There are source identifiers. When you buy Nike, you are buying a certain brand, you're buying the goodwill of this company because the quality of the product you're getting, oftentimes the source, though Nike, I guess the source could be debated and has been come under fire in the past. But good or bad, the people buy according to what they identify with that certain brand and the goodwill that brand has created. So by failing to monitor and failing to prevent others from infringing on your brand, you are allowing your brand to be diluted, and you could lose all the rights to that brand if that use goes on without you checking it.
So let's say I'm the CEO of Nike, or I'm the general counsel of Nike, and I find out that there's someone on the street level who's created bootleg product that uses the Nike logo. If I do nothing, what happens?
So it's a great question, and it really depends on the size of the company too. Nike has established its market presence. It has additional rights. When you're a famous mark, you have additional rights, but you're also subject to potential dilution. If Nike does allow these multiple infringers to continue to go on and selling infringing goods with Nike on it, we see a lot of, but if they allow it to happen without taking any proactive action to actually stop it, now there's an argument that could be said that, hey, they are not enforcing their rights, so they should no longer have their rights. This is how people lose trademark rights. This is how people get around trademarks. If companies fail to enforce, or let's say even go under or go bankrupt, now there's actually a good reason why they shouldn't have those rights anymore, because some party shouldn't be prevented from starting a similar brand if they had this idea and this other company is no longer using it. So there's a purpose behind that idea, but people need to recognize that if you don't enforce for a certain period of time, usually 2 to 3 years. If you don't use your mark for even 3 years, that's effectively considered abandoned. So you need to make sure that you are enforcing as well as monitoring your mark and using it in ways that will continue to show commercial use. You will have to show it to the USPTO. And one thing people also need to keep in mind is that after you register a trademark, after 5 years, you have to file this declaration of continued use. And then after 10 years, you file trademark renewals. And that's really important to keeping your trademark rights alive.
So you're saying that once you file your mark, not only do you have to ensure you're enforcing your rights, but the USPTO has ongoing compliance requirements, and you can't miss one of their messages, or you can't miss one of the steps that they outline that you have to take to confirm you're still using the mark.
Exactly, exactly. You can't miss it, otherwise you would lose your mark. They do offer some leniency if you do miss it. There's ways to kind of revive it. Not always easy though, especially if someone else comes in and sneaks in and starts using the mark while it was dead or while it was abandoned. You could be facing uphill battle there. So these are all things to keep in mind, and this is where we as a firm come in and can really help our clients. We offer these different trademark watch services as well as maintenance services where we will help clients maintain those filings, update them on potential infringers, make sure they're not missing a important date. We all get a lot of emails nowadays. A lot of things go to spam. However, we manage dockets of hundreds and hundreds of clients, global portfolios. So, we're keeping this in our own docketing system, in our own calendaring system to make sure that people know when those important dates come up. And we make sure we send you many, many emails and calls and text messages to remind you that these important dates are coming up.
Okay, so if I'm a client and I sign up for Carbon's trademark watch service, what do I get?
So there's three essential different plans that we offer right now. It's a subscription, and they're pretty affordable, usually, between $29 and $129 a month. And for the basic one, we just do monitoring. We get you a report once a month of saying, hey, here's potential conflicts we see, and then you can decide to take action or not. And then that's kind of generally on an hourly basis or a flat fee basis based on what we find. Then, from there, it kind of goes up based on the service you need. Our higher level service at $129 includes some attorney time, includes calls, it includes name clearances. So if you have other trademarks you want to register, we could do some name clearances for you. These are all things that you could look into. If you look at our blog, and we are actually now creating another page for this again, but if you go on our website, there is more information there that we'll put in the show notes about these watch services. But a lot of clients really, really have found them very useful, and we wanted to create something that's easy to understand and doesn't break the bank for a lot of our clients, but it's really important because we want to make sure that people don't lose their trademark rights.
What are some costs of enforcement after the fact compared to catching issues early? For example, if someone doesn't sign up for this and misses a notice, what are the kinds of costs that could be involved?
Significant costs. If someone tries to cancel your trademark for failure to enforce, you're spending tens of thousands of dollars. Sometimes trademark litigation, taking something to trial, could go up to 300 to 400,000. I've seen higher. Some 600 or 700,000 in very large lawsuits, because trademark and IP litigation in general is very much more complex than other types of litigation because you have to have experts involved. There's a lot more nuanced questions around what is consumer confusion? What are your rights? Was there actual use? Was there not actual use? These are all things that come up that are much more nuanced than you might say as a kind of a breach of contract action. So it takes a lot more experts. It takes a lot more people involved in those lawsuits, which can cause the cost to add up very quickly. So I would say the cost of not doing anything and potentially risking your trademark is exponentially higher than you being a little bit more proactive and making sure you're enforcing and policing your mark early on.
So essentially, if you sign up with Carbon for a couple $100s a month, you are essentially purchasing an insurance policy to protect your trademark. And if you don't do it, the flip side is you could end up spending tens of thousands of dollars to try to revive that mark, or where you might be involved in IP litigation. There's a huge, huge cost to noncompliance.
Absolutely, absolutely, and this is what these bigger companies spend a lot of money on. They spend a lot, like Disney, MLB, HBO. All these larger companies spend tons and tons of money and time and resources on monitoring their marks because they know how important it is to actually monitor their marks and enforce them. We wanted to say, hey, even if you're a smaller brand owner, if you're a smaller company, this is definitely affordable for you, and we can help you enforce your brand, which is why we made these different trademark plans, watch plans for our clients, because we know the importance of it, but unfortunately a lot of people overlook the importance. So we want to make sure people understand and are knowledgeable about why it's important to enforce their rights and finding an easy way to monitor and help them in that process.
So, this sounds like very complicated, very expensive. We're talking about complex issues, litigation, IP. Should smaller businesses care about trademark, or is this just something for big companies?
every business needs to care about IP. Every business needs to care about its trademark specifically, because this is a brand asset. This is value, and a failure to enforce, failure to protect your brand could seriously undermine the sale value, because now maybe you have less goodwill in that brand, as well as could create more complications. It may say, hey, if there's a dispute or an issue about your trademark, now it could even prevent the sale, because no one wants to touch a company in litigation or without the rights they're saying that they have. So it's really important that businesses, no matter the size, are aware of this and take action. And that's why we have, these very basic plans to kind of more, advanced watch plans for our clients based on their needs and their size.
Pankaj, one thing I love about our firm is I feel like we take these kinds of mechanics of large companies and large firms, and I've seen you be very passionate about democratizing the tools that larger companies and large firms have for small to mid-sized businesses. And I feel like this is one of those tools that is so critical, but is usually out of reach if you're a small to mid-sized company. And I think that's, just talking with you, I feel like that's really where the value comes in. If there's a listener who's listening right now, wants to take the next step, how do they sign up for the service?
Yeah, so you can go to our website. We're going to be relaunching the page. We're revamping it right now. But if you go to our blog, you can reach out to us through the blog to sign up. That will link to this in the show notes about our trademark watch service. Or email us. Email us, get in touch with us. You can text us at 323-543-4453. Super easy to get in touch with us and say, hey, I'm interested in the trademark watch service. Schedule a call with us. You can talk to me or our paralegal, Crystal, who is our IP paralegal who handles a lot of these questions. She could tell you everything you need to know about the service and help you get set up. So it's super simple. It's all on a monthly charge. So you know what you're going to be spending every month, as opposed to paying a retainer or you're paying hourly for a lawyer. It's a fixed fee, a fee that should work for the budgets of most clients, and something that we can help you grow and scale. And the benefit of working with us versus working with some other kind of DIY service out there is that, we're a law firm. We can actually do something about infringement. We can actually take action and give you tailored and valuable legal insight into your service. These DIY services can't do that. And oftentimes they give bad advice or the wrong advice. So, this is our experience, me doing it for 15 years, having a team handling your trademark. And we have many happy clients, I'm proud to say, that have used this service and used our trademark services. And, we can't wait to help more clients or more brand owners.
I can speak to that myself. I am not only a corporate attorney with Carbon, I'm also a client. And you successfully registered our Raga and Raga Man trademarks, which was no easy feat. And it is a comfort knowing that I can speak to a real expert about this. It is very annoying when you work with these DIY services and there's not someone to talk with, and increasingly you're speaking with an AI chatbot, and you don't know the kind of expertise you're getting. You don't know how much time they're going to be willing to dedicate to you. I mean, it's very opaque. So I can speak to this myself. Carbon Law Group makes it very transparent, and I've enjoyed being a client as well as an attorney with this firm. So to everyone listening out there, do not just build your brand, protect it, keep it strong. This is property that you are going to be able to sell. This is property you're going to be able to license. You need to make sure you're treating it with respect and care, the same respect and care that you've put into building this brand. Pankaj, thank you so much for taking your time today. Thank you all for listening to this special episode of Letters of Intent. If you have any further questions about the firm, you know where to reach us. You can reach us online on our website. You can reach us on LinkedIn, and follow, subscribe on our Spotify channel for more information.
Thanks a lot, Sahil.